This is our review of our destination wedding at Dreams Onyx in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Just to give y'all a little bit of a background, I'm an American and my husband's Australian, and we actually eloped in Florida on June 22nd, 2021. Shortly after we eloped, my husband had to go back to Australia, and we were separated for 5 months, and then I joined him in Australia. And then from there, we decided that we wanted to have a big proper wedding with all of our friends and family because we didn't get to have that the first time around because it was COVID and it was just a lot of things going into it. Anyway, that's a whole other story of why we eloped. But the main thing is that we wanted to have a proper, bigger wedding. So we started looking at venues. At first, we thought we would have a wedding in America and Australia. But then once we started looking into it, we were like, this is crazy expensive to have a wedding in 2 different places. That's a lot of money. We didn't even really want to have a wedding. Like, we were really happy with our elopement. So we started looking around at different options. We were like, if we're going to have a wedding, we want to do it how we want to do it because we're going to put a lot of time and effort into it. We're not just going to do this to make our families happy. We're going to do it because it's something we want to do. So then we started looking at different resorts, and that's when we came across Dreams Onyx. And I reached out to 2 separate travel agents, and both of them recommended Dreams Onyx because it's really beautiful. It's a family-friendly resort, and they have a really good wedding package. And they also, those travel agents, go to that resort and vacation there themselves. So I thought, this is a really good deal. The travel agents are also using it as their vacation spot. It must be a really good place. So even though we had never been to Dreams Onyx before, we had only seen pictures, we decided to go for that resort. With all that being said, let's get into the review. So the first thing that I recommend doing when you are looking to having a destination wedding, especially if you're going to have it at Dreams Onyx, join the Facebook groups. I learned so much information because the websites at the resort, they're okay, but you really want to be on these Facebook group pages, especially because your wedding planner is very busy. So a lot of times people will say that they don't really hear from their wedding planner. You hear every couple of months, and you're really not going to hear from them until probably a month until your wedding. Now, I didn't really have too much problem with this. So for me personally, communication before arriving at the resort wasn't that bad. I know a lot of people complain about it, especially in these Facebook groups, but I didn't find it bad at all. Seriously, just chill out, be patient. I think at most I waited a week or so to hear back. I would just write one long email, and my wedding planner was Manuela, and she would just write back on the original email and answering each single question. I felt like that was a lot easier than just constantly emailing, 1 or 2 questions. Put it all in one big email, and they're much more likely to respond that way. So our wedding day was November 17, 2023. I was a little bit nervous about this because there can be hurricanes or rainy season because this is just before peak season. So not as many people are going to be at the resort, which was great. And we really liked that it was a little bit more private, not as busy, but you are at risk of having rain showers. Now, while we were at the resort, we were there for about 10 days, I believe, and it only rained one day, one time at night. It really wasn't bad. We booked the Beyond Memorable package, and I think that this package is the most bang for your buck. You're going to get a lot of things included with this. It costs about 8,000 USD, which is a bit pricey, but you do get a lot included. I think the prices have gone up since we've booked this. Y'all will have to look it up and let me know what the prices are like now. But our wedding planner was Manuela, and she did an absolutely beautiful job. They do about 3 weddings a day at this resort, so they know what they're doing. She added so many extra special touches that we weren't expecting, and it really made the whole day come together, and it was so beautiful. We booked the WBA photography, and there was the resort photographer, specifically Hernandez. He was really great. We really loved our photos. My only complaint about our photos, for my videos actually, is that there wasn't a good video of me walking down the aisle because he was using a drone at the same time. The video camera was in the sand, and it's just kind of angled up a bit funny while I'm walking down the aisle. It's not the end of the world. We still got so many beautiful videos and photos, but I guess that was just a little bit of a downside for me. For our travel agent, which if you're going to have a destination wedding, absolutely get a travel agent. They're going to make the whole process so much easier. They were able to book, first they were able to hold the rooms for our wedding party, so people were able to book specific rooms, and we didn't have to worry about anybody not getting a room. So that was really helpful. And then she helped plan and book all of our guests. I was in constant contact with her. Barbara Vong from Wright Travel Agency is her name, and she was fantastic. I cannot recommend her enough. She was so lovely. For our room type, we got the preferred private pool swim up, a little bit more on the pricey side, but I think it was 100% worth it. It was about almost $3,000 USD. I think about 2.5 will be maybe a little bit more, right? Also, another reason to book through a travel agent is with everybody that you book, like all of your guests who book through your travel agent at the resort, you actually will get money back for all of the people that you book. So I think we ended up getting about $3,000 back, which basically just paid for our room. So we had a free, beautiful room. Also, I just want to add this, because we were living in Australia, our money was obviously Australian dollars. So we had to convert our money to USD. And at the time, we thought that we had to pay in cash at the resort. So we had to convert our money and then, draw it out and stuff. And then while we were at the resort, we actually found out that we could just pay on card. And there is a little bit of a percentage you have to pay if you pay with credit card, but we would have saved money if we just didn't pull out cash and had just used our credit card. However, you should bring tip money, so we did end up using that cash anyway.
So like Holly was saying, the reason that we spent more money than required was we converted our Australian dollars to US, which obviously was about a 5% conversion fee, not realizing that if you pay if you pay by card in the Dominican Republic, you have to pay in their local currency. So then our US dollars got converted to Dominican currency, and that was another 3 to 5% fee. So that's how we got stung. In the future, would have just left it as Australian dollars and done one conversion.
Now onto decor. This part was pretty tricky because I had to buy some things in Australia, and then other things I would just buy on Amazon and have it shipped to America. And then before we went to our resort, we flew to America first to one of our friends' house, picked up the decor, and then packed it in our suitcase, brought it to the resort. It was a lot of work. We needed a lot of extra space in our suitcase. I also had something shipped to my mom and my sisters, but a lot of the decor, like our flowers, I didn't even see until a week before when we first arrived in America, which was a bit stressful, and I really was just having to go off photos. Thankfully, everything turned out okay. Really happy about that. But anyway, here's everything I brought. I brought a cake topper, which I got from Etsy. It was really beautiful, and I loved how it turned out. The sad part about it is that it actually wasn't able to sit on our wedding cake because our wedding planner says it was too heavy and it kept falling over and it would have ruined the cake. It was a little bit of a bummer. It still looked gorgeous, and I now use it as decor in my home, but it was a bit sad. We also had a wedding sign that my sister made. We had tablecloths, arch floral decor that we reused at the reception, bridal bouquets I got also from Etsy, and those were reused at the reception in glass vases that I rented from the resort. I think it was about $10 or $5 per vase. I got some candlesticks from Amazon, which stopped me at checkpoint every single time at the airport. The candlesticks that I got, you're actually able to take apart, so that was a bit easier for travel, but they were very heavy, so that's going to add a lot of weight to your suitcase. I brought a Polaroid camera and a guest book, so we had a Polaroid guest book sign-in. I had the Flower Girl basket rented from the resort and the Ring Bearer pillow. The flower petals have to be real, and you have to buy them for the resort. I believe it was $5 per bag of flower petals. Looking back, everything came together so beautifully, but you really don't need a lot of decor. It is such a beautiful venue. Everything comes together so well that you really don't need to add too much. Almost all of that decor I just gave to Manuela, just donated it to her. So if you're a bride coming to the resort, you can ask her, maybe it's still there, and you can use some of our old decor. We did take some things, but again, it's just because we were traveling back to Australia. We were actually going to America for a few weeks, and then we went back to Australia. It was just a lot of extra things. So we just picked a few things, and that's what we took back. As part of our wedding package, which was the Beyond Memorable package, we got a free bridal bouquet and boutonniere. And if I had known how pretty they were, because online they were so ugly. They were so ugly, so I decided to get my own from Etsy, which also turned out beautiful. But I never would have ordered them, like those fake flowers from Etsy, saved myself like $200 on my bouquet if I had known how beautiful they would have come out. So I bought a bouquet for myself and a boutonniere for my husband, because after looking at the wedding pamphlets, I thought the flowers were going to be so ugly. Instead, they were absolutely beautiful, and both my husband and I ended up using the resort flowers rather than the ones we brought. So the big ones that we had to pack into our suitcase, because my bouquet was huge, took up all this space, didn't even use it. I mean, we used it at the reception. It was part of the decorations. We put it in a vase and it looked beautiful. But yeah, definitely could have saved a lot of room and a lot of money. For our guest bags, we brought white bags with thank you tags, and inside we had a sheet of paper that had our wedding itinerary and a cheat sheet for all the events that were happening. We also had a customized reusable cups, waterproof phone cases that had a lanyard, Vegemite, and in some bags, either Australian koozie, Australian shot glass, koala keychain, or a magnet. Also, as a fun little touch to all of the people who worked so hard to make our wedding day possible, so like to our wedding planner, our butler, the girls in the spa who took care of me and my bridesmaids, and just anybody else who kind of helped us out, like our cleaners and etc. We got them like Australian postcards, Vegemite, some had magnets, some had keychains, and we put them in these little goodie bags, and then we gave it to them with their tip money. Also, while we're on the subject of what we did for our guests, on our save the dates and our wedding invitations, we had a QR code which when you scanned it, it took you to the Knot wedding page, and it was our wedding page that had all of our information about how to book the resort, where to go, what the resort looks like. Everything that you would need to know was on that wedding page. But I'm going to be honest, y'all, a lot of guests are not going to read that information. You are still going to get a lot of messages. People are going to ask you how to book, where to book, what the itinerary is, etc. People still will not look at that website, okay? No matter how much you try. So what we also did was we made a Facebook group page where we posted updates. We gave people reminders, asked people to RSVP, all of that stuff. And again, people aren't going to look at that. So we also had a WhatsApp group chat, because we had to use WhatsApp because my husband and I had Australian phone numbers, and a lot of our Australian family had, Australian phone numbers. So that was another thing that we did. And still, people are not going to read that. They're not going to answer that, or they're still going to miss times on things. So we also, on our guest bags that we gave to all of our guests, we had paper with our wedding itinerary, like I said, and a cheat sheet. So hopefully people will read that. Did everybody follow any of those multiple different ways? No, we still had some people who were late to events and claimed that they didn't know what was happening. It's fine. People will be people, no matter how hard you try to make it easy for them. Another perk of our wedding package is you actually get a free room. So my husband used that the night before our wedding, and then he used that the day of the wedding, so that him and his groomsmen can get ready in the room. And then they could also take photos. And the room ended up getting a bit messy, so it's nice to have other options for rooms to get ready in and then take photos in. My girls and I got ready in the bridal suite. I ended up booking that relatively last minute, and I'm so happy I did it, because it would have been insane to try to rush out of hair and makeup appointments back to the hotel room and get dressed, especially with the humidity, especially because we would have been drenched running from our room, running to the spa. It would have been a lot. Especially, we had 13 girls in there, 2 of them were under 7. I was worried about the space, but we were completely fine, because a lot of people on the Facebook groups were saying that it was small, you want to be able to fit, but it was fine. Like, because some people would be in the suite, and then some people would be going to get their hair and makeup done in the actual spa part. So I thought it was really, really great. The suite was so cute. We had drinks and room service brought in. Plus, the suite was great for getting photos in. They had really great lighting in there, so a lot of our photos were done in there. They also had a shower if needed. I had 6 bridesmaids, my mom and my mother-in-law and myself, obviously, who all got hair and makeup done. Only one bridesmaid got her makeup done, but everyone looked amazing. I was very worried about getting my makeup done. I'm quite particular. I had eyelash extensions and brow lamination. So I scheduled the makeup trial the night before for our wedding rehearsal dinner, and I'm really happy I did that, because I was able to we were able to talk through everything that I wanted, give a little guide on what I was expecting. And then the morning of, she knew what I wanted. We were able to fix anything that I didn't like the day before. And my wedding makeup turned out absolutely beautiful. I loved it so much. And I'm so thankful for all the ladies who took care of us because they were amazing. Everybody looked so beautiful, very put together, and they were able to do touch-ups when needed. We were worried about the weather all week, but we just decided early on that even if it rains, who cares? We'll still have a great time. All of our friends and family are there for us. We felt so loved. I hadn't seen my family in 2 years at that point. So no matter what, we were going to make it work. We were going to have a great time. We got super lucky. It rained right before the ceremony. A few of the groomsmen and some of the bridesmaids got wet. I didn't though. I didn't even notice how bad it was until looking back at some photos. But it was fine. We prepared for it, and we were very grateful that we did because everybody had umbrellas, so it really wasn't a big deal. After about 20 minutes, after the ceremony, almost immediately it started downpouring for about 20 minutes. We just waited it out underneath some of the beach covers, and then we were able to go back and take photos, and it was beautiful. We had a beautiful rainbow in our pictures, and our drone videographer, he was able to give us a little bit of extra time, even though we only booked the drone for an hour, which was really, really great. And honestly, it's the Dominican Republic. Like, it's gonna rain. Don't let it ruin your day. Just prepare, have a plan B, and just remember, it's good luck. I mean, the first time when I eloped, I got pooped on by my baby nephew, which is also good luck to get pooped on, but so anyway, just enjoy it, have a plan B, prepare, be in a good mindset because things happen. Move on. Don't let her ruin your time. We booked the luxury package with WBA photography and added a videographer and drone to that. Hernandez was fabulous. He was so great at posing us and making sure we got exactly what we wanted. My husband and I are quite awkward with posing, but he was really great and helped us feel comfortable and relaxed. Our photos were really, really beautiful. I'm super happy with them. And I'm really happy we chose resort photographer. Them being right on base made it really, really easy and seamless, and it helped with contact and everything. Really happy about that. And due to the rain, Louis offered us different options. Instead of, we chose to wait for the rain to disappear and then continue on shooting, rather than going inside and getting photos, or a different option, which is really nice that he waited for us. We were meant to only have the drone until 4, but instead we missed some drone footage. They kept it flying until 4:30 to make up for that missed time. As a fun little thank you for our guests, we planned a snorkel party boat. We did that through Claudia Ballin, I believe her name is. You're going to find her on the Facebook group. She was really awesome. We were a bit all over the place trying to book, did it a little bit last minute, but she was really fantastic at handling it. On the boat, the crew were really amazing as well. We had 2 infants and 5 children, all under the age of 9. The crew were holding babies, pulling kids on floaties in the water, and just overall being really great hosts. So the parents were able to relax and also have fun as well. Everyone had a great time. Warning though, the drinks are strong, and you won't realize it until it's too late, like me. Also, I will say if you're booking this solely for the snorkeling, you might be disappointed. We might be biased as we're from Australia now, and our reefs are very incredible. Snorkeling wasn't the best. But we saw some cool fish though, and seriously, it wasn't an issue because the whole overall experience of this party boat was just so much fun. There was slide, dancing, we went to a sandbar. We just had so much fun, and all of our guests were raving about it. They have photographers on the boat as well, and we decided to purchase all 700 photos for them for our guests as a little momentum, and so that they could just have those memories and those moments captured. We had a welcome dinner party that we reserved through our butler, Ely Jesus, and I highly, highly recommend getting a room with the butler, especially if you are the bridal couple, because not having a butler would have made our whole week so much more stressful. Ely was able to get all of the girls' things out of the bridal suite so that we were able to just go straight to the wedding and not have to worry about all of our things. Like, he literally packed everything up, took it to our room. He went above and beyond. Absolutely love that guy. He was amazing. Get a room with the butler. Anyway, so for our welcome dinner party, we had it on the Carnival Terrace. It was so fun for everyone to meet each other, as my family are Americans, as I've said, and my husband's are Australian. And none of our sides have ever met before, so it was so cool to see everyone get to blend and meet each other. It was so cool because I had like friends from high school there who got to meet my college friends or my Australian friends. It was crazy. I loved it. During it, there was a performance going on in the grass area and a massive barbecue also in the grass, so it was just super, super cool. For our rehearsal dinner, we had it in the ballroom Hoya. The food was fantastic and it was nice gathering with all our guests. We had everyone wear white and my husband and I wore blue, which were our wedding colors, so we kind of did a little different, but that was really fun. Last minute, we decided to add the Tropical Trio for our cocktail hour, and super happy we did that. They were worth the extra cost. I think it was about 500 USD at that time. It might have gone up since then, but it really helped entertain our guests while we had more photos done, and everyone really enjoyed them, and they were just really sweet guys. I thought it was a really cute touch, especially because we're in the Caribbean. It was fun to have a little Caribbean atmosphere, as whatever you want to call it. We also decided to add the crazy hour to our reception, and oh my god, it was so much fun. It was a really unique and fun experience to add. I believe that was also about $500 USD extra. They brought funny glasses, balloons, beaded necklaces, sparklers, ton of things. If you're thinking of adding that, do it. Your guest will love it. Some people, might be a little shy to dance or get out there. This really got people going and having fun. Our photographers finished at 9:30 p.m. and Crazy Hour finished at 10 p.m. So one thing is, I wish we probably would have extended the photography, as at the end of this Crazy Hour, the sparklers come out and they do some other cool things. So I kind of wish we had that. It was like those photos, but wasn't a big deal. Still had so much fun. So we also added, from the resort catalog, we added string lights, a light up dance floor, a light up love sign, and a welcome table. It all came together really, really beautifully. The kids especially loved the dance floor because I had my nieces and nephews there. The dance floor is good for about 20 to 25 people. So if you have more than that, we found that our guests all standing around it rather than on it. It just seems a bit smaller than it seems. We had a little over 50 guests, so it was fine. But if we had 100 guests, I don't know if we would have booked it. I mean, it looks really cool, but it is smaller than what you would expect. I've already mentioned this, but our room was the preferred private pool swim up. Really love that. We were quite busy though, so I just wish we had more time to enjoy our room. I loved being preferred, and I think it's worth the extra cost. Having the butler was amazing, as I've said. Again, we had Ely Jesus. He seriously went above and beyond for us. He had his friend get our missing bag from the airport, got my sister-in-law her medication from the pharmacy in town because she had a medical emergency while at the resort. Was fantastic at booking all of our reservations and our dry cleaning. He did a lot of things for our guests, our family, and our friends. He was just really such a lovely and nice guy. I honestly can't rave enough about him. He made the whole experience a 10 out of 10. So if you can request a butler in advance, get this guy, let him know you saw us from our video. And yeah, he was awesome. The food at the resort was good. Some things were hit or miss, but there really was such a huge variety, and it's all inclusive, so the misses don't really matter as much. I love the hibachi and Blue Water Grill. Hibachi shows were really a lot of fun, so definitely book one while you're there. The food can be bland, but they give you lots of sauces and seasonings, so they are catering for hundreds of people, so it's safer for them to offer bland and then for you to put what you want on it. But honestly, if you're looking on the Facebook groups, I think that food comes up a lot. Again, hit or miss. I found that it was fine. All of our guests were pretty happy with it. So don't stress too much about it because you do have a lot of options. If you are bringing kids, I think this is a great resort to do that. My nieces and nephews had so much fun at the resort. They ranged from itty bitty babies all the way up to about 9 years old. There's so much for the kids to do there. My sisters and brothers were rarely stressed because staff were really, really great with the kids, and it was a pretty safe resort as well. Don't worry, there's plenty of kids-free areas too if you don't want to be around kids, so don't stress too much. We did Tropical Treasures twice for massages. That is a little massage place right next to the resort. Really easy to find, and it was so worth it. I believe it was about $25 USD. While walking there the second time, I accidentally stepped on a stick and I got a sliver in my foot, and the masseuse was able to get it out for me. The gift shop that's a part of the little massage parlor is also one of the best spots, I believe, to get souvenirs. My mother and I did the free Amstar ride to the 5-store shopping experience that they offer at the resort, and while they have more of a variety, I believe Tropical Treasures was just a lot cheaper. Oh, also, the morning of our wedding, they brought us breakfast in bed, On the night of our wedding, they had flower petals on the floor of our bed, champagne and chocolate covered strawberries. It was such a sweet little touch. As for tipping, we probably splurged the most on this, but everyone was so kind and amazing that it was just really hard not to tip them. For our wedding planner, spa, butler, etc., like I mentioned, we gave them gift bags with a few Aussie treats and postcards with the tip money in them. We also added the resort DJ. He was fine, but his English wasn't fantastic, and he accidentally played the wrong reception entrance song and the wrong first dance song. I believe this is because we changed them the week before the wedding, so if you make changes from your original sheet, make sure that it is clearly communicated and that he deletes the old songs from his computer that you requested on your sheet. The MC was amazing. We also hired him from the resort. I can't remember his name, but he was fantastic and really helped bring the reception to life. We had 3 guests need to go to the medical clinic and then to the hospital. A bit crazy. The clinic was very helpful and easy to work with. Ely was also, our butler was also amazing at helping us with all of this and navigating that. Lastly, my only complaint is this. The weddings are not very private, of course, because it is at a resort, which I get. You know, it's hard to have that privacy, and definitely not the resort's fault. It's just something that's going to happen. But some of the resort guests just were really tacky and walking close to the wedding ceremony or behind the wedding arches during the ceremony, and then they would just stand there watching the wedding go on. Now, luckily, because on our ceremony day, it was just raining, so almost everybody had left the beach. But there was a few other weddings that we saw that week on the beach, and people were just walking by, getting too close to the ceremony, and it was like, you know, just have some decorum, like back off. Like, this is someone's like private wedding. Don't be rude and start, you know, just standing there gawking at them. It's weird. Like, look from far away if you really must, but don't be in the background of their photos and their videos. It's rude. But anyway, that is our full wedding review. We're going to do another video talking about how much everything costs, because I believe in transparency with all that. Some of our prices are outdated because we did this in 2023, but we actually booked it back in 2022. So we had those prices, and I believe in 2023 the prices went up, but because we had signed contracts, we still got the 2022 prices. So we paid about like $8,000 for our wedding package, but I think it's up to $10,000 USD now with inflation, since everything is going up now. So we'll definitely do another video on that, so at least you can get kind of a ballpark of what you're going to be looking at. Again, our prices are different because we came from Australia, so we paid in Australian, of course. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I would love to answer them, and hopefully it helps, because this is what I did before our wedding. I just watched videos. I was on the Facebook groups, I was on TikTok, just trying to get as much information and idea of what to expect. Because again, had no idea, never been to the resort, only was contacting people through email. So I'm really glad it wasn't a scam and it was all very legit and it came out beautifully, but it could have gone wrong. So thanks guys, yeah. Thank you for watching. Bye. Okay, I know I just ended the video, but I just want to do one more just to talk about my wedding dress, because I think it is kind of a fun little story. Like I said at the beginning of the video, my husband's Australian, I'm an American. We had a very spontaneous elopement. I wore a beautiful secondhand dress. It was really gorgeous. I love that dress. But yeah, then we eloped, and then my husband had to go back to Australia, and then we had 5 months of long distance. During those 5 months of long distance, I actually moved from Florida back up to Michigan, to my hometown. And then a few weeks after moving back, I ended up going back to Florida for a little holiday, and I was there with my sisters and some of my cousins and my mom, obviously. And my mom was really pushing. She's like, we should go and try on some wedding dresses. And I was like, whoa, slow down, Mom. Like, we're not even sure if we're going to have like a proper big wedding. But my mom really, really wanted us to have a proper wedding because she wasn't able to be there for my elopement. And she just thought it was really important that we do have this wedding. So she was really pushing for it. And she's like, you know, at least go try on wedding dresses with your family. Like, you don't know when you're going to all be together. Once again, really glad she did push for that, because I ended up finding my dream dress. Reluctantly, I did make the appointment. We all go in. It's the Great Collective in Clearmont, Florida. I don't believe they sell wedding dresses anymore. I think she just sells clothes and jewelry, but really, really beautiful shop. It was a really fun experience. But I go in and I really had no intention of buying a dress. But the first dress I tried on, I was like, oh my God, I love this dress. Like, this is my dress. Every single dress after that just did not compare. I would just refer back to the first dress. You know, every single dress after that was like, it's okay, it's nice, but it's not my first dress. It's not the first dress. There was another dress that did come close. It was really beautiful, and it had these gorgeous long lace sleeves. And I really, really loved that. And I was saying how I love those sleeves, and maybe I could take those sleeves and put them on that dress, like the dress that I loved with the beaded sleeves. And the lady, the store owner, she was so sweet. She's like, hold on a minute, let me go see what I have. Comes back with the most gorgeous long lace sleeves, very Lord of the Rings, very perfect for the dress. And even though the sleeves didn't go with the dress because the dress had those beaded sleeves, it matched perfectly. It was amazing. I was absolutely shocked. I was so excited, and I was like, this is it, this is my dress. And so she was saying that I could just get those beaded sleeves adjustable so that I can take them on and off. I can wear one sleeve set for the ceremony, one for the reception, which is obviously what I ended up doing, as you can see in the videos. And it was so perfect. And so I was like, I have to get this dress, like this is my dress. But my mom was like, you know, just wait, sleep on it, at least wait a night, like you don't have to buy it right now. But I was like, I don't know, like I really want this dress. Anyway, we go back, I sleep on it, have a think, I talk to my husband, I talk to my mother-in-law about it. They're obviously in favor of me buying it. They're like, look, you can always sell it, or, you know, whatever. So I ended up finding out that the store was closed on Sunday, and we left on Monday, and this was Saturday at this time, of course. So I messaged the lady, and I was like, look, like, that's my dress, I need to come and get it. What are my options here? Like, can you ship it to me? Can my sister come and pick it up? Because my sister lived in Florida. What can we do here? Because I need this dress. And the lady was so sweet. She's like, come in tomorrow, I'll open up the shop just for you, and you can have the full bridal experience. She's like, you can have your sister get it, but you're not going to get the bridal experience. So she's like, let me do this for you. And it was so amazing. She gave us a full experience. Me and my mom came in on that Sunday. She opened champagne. She let me try on the dress again. It was just, gave a little goodie basket. Like, it was so beautiful and so sweet of her to do that. So I bought my dress. The dress was actually bought off the rack, and she said it was really great that I was able to do that, and which also gave me a nice discount. But the dress had only been in the store for about 2 weeks, so only a couple brides have tried it on. So it was very new, really, really great condition. I also didn't really need that much adjustments made to the dress. I did get it taken in a bit and then had it hemmed in Australia, but it fit me almost perfectly. I also got the beaded sleeves made adjustable so I could switch out my look, as obviously you saw in the other videos. And then that dress went with me from Michigan to Australia, where I then got it altered, and then back to America 2 years later, and then to the Dominican Republic. And it was 2 years later when we ended up having our wedding, and I was like, this is still the most gorgeous dress to me. My opinion of it did not change at all. I did try it on a few dresses in Michigan, probably about 5, because my mom made me, she's like, you got to be sure, like this is your wedding. It's one of the most important days in your life. So I tried on a few different styles, but every single time I was like, no, it's not my dress. It's not my dress. I tried on a few in Australia. Again, same thing, not my dress. So then we just took it on with us onto our flight from Australia to America, to Dominican Republic. We just put it in our garment bags, mine and my husband's outfit for the wedding. And honestly, life hack, you will get treated so well if you bring your wedding clothes onto flights with us. We were saying that we should just do this all the time, because we got so many perks and upgrades because people saw our wedding bags and they knew that we were going to get married. So that was really, really fun. And then my dress made it in perfect condition. The flight attendants would just store it in the closet at the front, and if there wasn't room there, they would make room, So really thankful for everybody who made that possible, and it was just so exciting. So fun, still absolutely in love with my dress and all the looks that it gave me, even now, a year later after my wedding. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.